lives as possible. Scale, then, is not just a business model, but for us as Africans, scale is the calling of our generation. One of the things I started asking myself very early on in our business was, in my family we had business people before. My father started a business, we go all too well. I'll share that story with you in a minute. And before my father, my grandfather had businesses. And when my grandfather passed away, the businesses passed away with him. I imagine for a lot of us in this room, this sounds familiar. We have this. Somebody in the family who was an enterprising person, they started a business and they were doing something. And then when that person moves on, so too does the business. The business isn't able to be sustained. And so what I wanted to begin to understand was, how was it that some people, some cultures, some geographies even, are able to sustain businesses beyond the first generation? What do they actually do? In my country, in South Africa, if you run into a person of Asian descent, typically an Indian person, as we call them, they tend to, if they are in business, be second or third generation business people. I'm very deeply entrenched in the Jewish community in South Africa, and so I know, because of my relationships into the community, that if you meet one of the members of the community in business, it's not atypical that they are third or fourth generation business people. And then I would look around, and in our own community, I couldn't find many examples of second and third generation businesses. So it isn't that we are not enterprising. Perhaps the question becomes that we, even though we have the gift of enterprise, have not yet learned the gift of institutionalization. So how do we take our enterprising capacity and institutionalize it so that it runs long after you and I